There's an interesting thing happening in the state of Arizona that has never had a female senator, and now, as of this morning, just about an hour ago, has two. And if you are not in Arizona or you're not familiar with what's going on there, there was a very tight race between a Democrat and a Republican for the Senate seat vacated in 2017 by Senator Flake. And then also, this is for the junior senator's seat from Arizona. And then the senior senator died, John McCain. So the race for the junior senator's seat in the midterm was hotly contested. And it was pretty close. But in terms of a percentage of the overall population, it was distinct. It was clear. The outcome was clear in this instance. Kyrsten Sinema received 50% of the vote, and Martha McNally received 47.6% of the vote. 56,000 votes separated the two candidates. But the Democrat, Ms. Sinema, was headed off to the Senate. She would be the first female senator elected from Arizona. Well, the appointee that was put in place to occupy Senator John McCain's seat until an election can be held, stepped down and said, "You'll have to make another appointment. I'm going to step down. I think that will make it easier for the state to continue." And the governor appointed the other woman who was running for Senate in Arizona, the Republican, Martha McSally. So the two of them, who were in a pitched fight for the seat, one won, and now she's there, and the other has been appointed senator, and they're both there. Now that, from the outside, to me, I'm not in Arizona, it is fascinating. It has a lot of qualities of things that I like. One of them is, and you may not know this, but there was a time in the United States of America when the loser became the vice president. So Hillary would have been vice president. And this creates a forced collaboration between differing viewpoints that I admire as a platonic, or I'm not sure what the term is for that, as a methodology for sowing camaraderie. It strikes me as a cool way to go, And we've turned into winner and loser, and the loser's a horrible loser, and the winner is the big winner, and there's none of that is real when it comes to people on the ground, I don't think. But in this instance now, everybody in Arizona who voted for either candidate has a senator, and they're both junior senators, and they're both women. So I went to AZ Central. There's a couple of stories here about this. I want to tell you a little bit about each of them. First, we'll use Wiki for that, I think. Kyrsten Leah Sinema is the senator-elect. She's a member of the Democratic Party. She has served as a rep for Arizona's 9th congressional district since 2013. She's 42 years old. She previously served in both chambers of the Arizona State Legislature. She was elected to the House of Reps in 2004 and the Arizona Senate in 2010. She began her political career as an activist for the Green Party before joining the Arizona Democratic Party in 2004. So that's a little bit about her. And Martha McSally, who has been appointed this morning to the other seat. Let's see, I had a page open to talk a little bit more about her too. There it is. She is an American United States Air Force combat veteran. She is now serving also as a junior senator. And she was the U.S. rep for Arizona's 2nd Congressional District. She had been since 2015. So now I guess that seat will also will need to be filled. A retired military officer, she served in the United States Air Force from 1988 to 2010 and rose to the rank of colonel. One of the highest-ranking female pilots in the history of the Air Force. McSally was the first American woman to fly in combat following the 1991 lifting of the prohibition on female combat pilots. McSally flew the Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt II close air support aircraft over Iraq and Kuwait during Operation Southern Watch. There was a thing. Oh yeah, this is interesting. In 2001, she sued the United States Department of Defense in McSally v. Rumsfeld, challenging the military policy that required United States and United Kingdom servicewomen stationed in Saudi Arabia to wear the body covering abaya when traveling off base in the country. Huh. So these are the two senators from Arizona right now. There's an article here. It's an opinion piece by Joanna Allhands of the Arizona Republic. Opinion. They fought an incredibly negative campaign. Now, can Arizona's senators put hurt feelings aside and work together on stuff that matters? Will they let bygones be bygones? That's the looming question now that Governor Doug Ducey has appointed Martha McSally to John McCain's Senate seat, a seat temporarily occupied by John Kill. Sinema was clearly uncomfortable sitting next to McSally during a recent meeting with our editorial board. She slowly turned her chair away from McSally as the meeting progressed, a move that was highly out of character for her. Of course, that was before the midterm election where Sinema narrowly beat McSally, and just after McSally had suggested that Sinema had committed treason. It was a nasty campaign, one full of name-calling on both sides. But now these two bitter rivals will have to work together for the good of Arizona. Can they do it? I hope so, and I think they can. It's all good if they can put Arizona first. Both were unabashed fighters for Arizona interests in the House. McSally waged a successful battle to protect the A-10 and many jobs at Tucson's Davis-Monthan Air Force Base that rely on that aircraft. Sinema often teamed up with former U.S. Rep. Matt Salmon, a Republican, to further business interests. The two regularly appeared at Arizona events to tout projects. We're going to need that kind of cheerleading and teamwork, particularly on issues that don't necessarily have partisan divides, like water. Water in the desert. It's interesting when you read local stories, what you discover and think about. I don't expect them to sing Kumbaya on everything, and no, I don't expect them to become BFFs, but as long as they can have a cordial working relationship, one that puts Arizona first, the state will be in good shape, with them leading the delegation. Yeah, this caught my eye. 1,191,100 people voted for Sinema. 1,135,200 people voted for McSally. And now both of them will be in the Senate. Junior senators.